Hello, I'm Courtney Holland. Welcome to the first episode of Season 5 of Save Our Towns, a series designed to guide and inspire those who are working hard in Appalachia to build strong communities. The episodes, created by Outreach and International Affairs at Virginia Tech, aim to celebrate what is great about small towns and also connect you with experts, resources, and more. In this episode, you'll meet a mayor with a 40-year history of getting things done, without always making friends in the process. You may have deja vu when you find out what town we've chosen to follow for a year. Your expert tip comes from Andrew Davis, one of the original mentors of Save Our Towns. We close with 3 questions for Town Manager Roger Jones. First, your example of awesome story. Like so many other Appalachian towns, Glen Lyn suffered for decades as coal and rail declined. A big blow came in 2014 when the Appalachian power plant shut down, eliminating most of the community's jobs. Andrea Brunet reports on the town's ace in the hole, its mayor.
For 100 years, Glen Lyn was not just a beautiful little town, but also rich, with the 450-foot smokestack on the Appalachian power plant a landmark of prosperity. And at one time, Glen Lyn had so much railroad traffic it got into Ripley's, believe it or not. There's little trace of the trestles now, but 2 trains, one traveling on each track, could cross 2 rivers and be in 2 counties and 2 states at the same time. Another thing that sets Glen Lyn apart is that Howard Spencer has been the mayor or town manager or on the county board of supervisors for the past 40 years. Spencer does what it takes. A one-man whirlwind, he's written scores of grant proposals. And he doesn't just write, he acts. Consider, in the 1980s, raw sewage was still being straight-piped into waterways. Spencer pleaded his case in person to state policymakers after being turned down repeatedly for money to build a wastewater treatment plant. Before he traveled to the state capitol, the phone rang. It was a constituent on the line.
There was a 6-foot black snake had crawled from the pipe that went into the creek up and was in her commode. And she went in before daylight, turned the light on, and there's that snake. Well, I told that snake story. The next day, I got a call from the director, and he said, Howard, the ladies on our board have decided that you need that money. That snake story probably was a deciding factor.
Spencer has done way more audacious things than tell stories. Once, a mine equipment business faced a health inspector's shutdown threat for lack of a proper water source. Crossing the bridge with the needed water cost more than any utility could afford. So Spencer took matters into his own hands, borrowing $60,000 from the county and designing a monorail system.
We crossed the New River with our working crew. We had 5 men. And 2,200 foot of water line that we scaffolded up under the bridge with 2x12s and slid across with, on a monorail, the ductile iron, which weighed 315 pounds per joint, and we got water to Fairchild, which is, they had about 100 employees.
Doing the job his way, there was cash left over to buy property where the town hall now sits. Next door, the town built a garage and inspection station, now leased to a mechanic and bringing in revenue. Plus, there was land for a new power company transmission station. Spencer was unhappy that the power company was planning to shut down in nearby Parisburg and take those jobs to Bluefield.
So I asked one of the employees, Ron English, I said, how about taking a look at the property that we have here?
But when the power plant employee looked at Glen Lyn, he gave Spencer a negative verdict.
For the poles to go across, pole truck to go across 460, we need more sight distance, so it doesn't work. So I called Chris McCarney, who's the county administrator, and I said, can we borrow a loader and a truck? And we cut that bank off, and he said, it got his tape measure out and measured, and he said it works. And so you see this new facility built here. The jobs were retained in Giles County.
For his first job in Glen Lyn, which was at the power plant in 1963, Spencer cleaned bolts for $4 an hour. More than half a century later, the power plant shutdown caused the loss of $200,000 in town revenue annually. Imposing a cigarette tax allowed the town to keep its 1 police officer. Today, a premier revenue producer is Glen Lyn's pride and joy, its park on the New River. Following his usual MO, Spencer found ways to draw more paying customers through loans and grants, including installing a boat ramp.
I felt like the Glen Lyn Park was an asset that was underdeveloped, and so what we did was we put water and sewer in the park, campsites, and we have 41 sites, and the campground is nearly full.
Not everything Spencer touches turns to gold. He spearheaded a project to reuse tons of fly ash from the power plant, which sent environmentalists into a frenzy, and he's been investigated by everyone from state police to the IRS. But others, like the county administrator, say he's dedicated his whole life to the town. During many of his years in office, he also worked as a teacher. As someone so energetic, who comes up with so many inventive ideas, one word Spencer doesn't like to hear is no. Of the bad press, he says,
I'm either the biggest crook that's ever been in this county, or I'm trying to do things the right way.
Next, Melissa McEwen introduces Marion, Virginia, which was reinventing itself even before Save Our Towns did a story on its business boot camp, Pop-Up Marion, in Season 1.
When Save Our Towns profiled Marion, Virginia in 2014, the town was finally getting back on its feet after the 2008 recession. The transformation is remarkable. A revitalized downtown where businesses set up shop and storefront vacancy rates have dropped to less than 4%. Tourists are finding reasons to flock to America's coolest hometown, where a new art school is a must-see destination. The local theater is home to the official television show of Virginia, and a nearby state park attracts outdoor enthusiasts. So what makes Marion's story special, and why is it the right town for Save Our Towns to follow during Season 5? To answer that question, listen to Ken Heath, the town's Director of Community and Economic Development.
It's a story of hope. It's a story of renewal. It's a story of local folks saying this is enough, and this is what we can do in our community to make a difference, and seeing how that one difference becomes another difference, and those two differences become even bigger. And before you know it, the community has transformed itself. What we've done here in Marion has been magic, but it's not magic that's just unique to Marion. It's something that can be done in every single community across the Commonwealth, across the United States, if people believe in themselves. And by carrying Marion's story and tracking us for the next year, folks will be able to see the energy, the passion, the creativity, the great folks that have gone in to make this happen, and more importantly, to see those people in their communities and to be able to empower those folks to step up and make the same transformation.
Stay tuned over the next year to learn about the successes and challenges for Heath and other town leaders as they try to keep the momentum going in this town of 6,000 residents.
Next, we're taking you out in the field, or out in the stream to be exact, for Small Town Big Number. Stay tuned for Bill Hopkins, Ann Brown, and a surprise guest star.
This is one of the animals that I study. It's the eastern hellbender.
You heard right. We're talking about that eastern hellbender, occasionally referred to by its unkind nickname, the snot otter. Some might make fun of it, but the hellbender is an amazing creature. It's North America's largest salamander, and it's found right here in Southwest Virginia and other parts of Appalachia. The salamander has been around for millions of years, surviving through ice ages and the dinosaur extinction. The creature has a fan club of admiring scientists because it lives in improbable places, underwater and cold, fast-flowing streams, surviving through ingenious capabilities such as breathing through skin. Cool-looking toe tips help them navigate the rocky bottoms.
These guys are really, really important ecologically and are very sensitive to changes in water quality.
Scientists mobilized during the last 15 years as population declines of the hellbender were documented across most of their range. Virginia Tech researchers and students do more than just study this rare animal to determine the reasons. They're coming to the aid of the species, especially during the critical reproductive period when males guard the eggs and babies for more than 7 months. Anything that muddies waters or degrades water quality can hurt the creatures. Virginia Tech is partnering with government agencies to preserve the surrounding forests, and researchers have installed concrete underwater nest boxes, which bring us to our number today, 74. 74 is the number of man-made nest boxes that have successfully attracted hellbenders to breed, resulting in clutches of healthy eggs and inspiring optimism that the intervention will work.
One of the things we're trying to do is inform the public that this animal, which is oftentimes misunderstood, is something to really be proud of.
Hopkins goes so far as to say that hellbenders should be considered a national treasure. More than 100 scientists from as far away as Japan, where a giant cousin of the hellbender salamander lives, will convene at Virginia Tech in summer 2019 for a conference in hopes of saving this gem of Appalachia. If you see a hellbender, be sure to report it to the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries for tracking. Consult their website for emails and phone numbers. Not just scientists, but even you can help this effort.
Your expert tip comes from Andrew Davis, author of Town Inc. You may have noticed his name in the credits on every episode. That's because Davis, a marketing communications expert and keynote speaker, helped create the concept for Save Our Towns. After giving a speech recently in Roanoke, Virginia, he offered town-friendly advice.
You know, it's easy to believe that if you market to everyone, you're going to attract everyone. And if you talk about everything, you're going to, show people that you have everything. Unfortunately, we live in a very crowded marketing world. And if you really want to stand out, you have to be known for something, and it has to be targeted at someone specifically. And you want to think of it as a wedge in the door to those people. You want to look for an opportunity to brand yourself to a very specific niche so that they can then come and experience your place and tell everybody else about all of the wonderful stuff. So picking one thing, one really simple way to get out into the marketplace will do you a much bigger service than just the, trying to be everything to everyone.
You can read a transcript of the complete interview at the Save Our Towns website, where Davis gives examples of towns that marketed themselves well and others that didn't do such a great job. Click on the Connect with Experts tab. And now a reminder about Virginia Cooperative Extension. Extension agents and specialists live and work around the Commonwealth, dedicated to subjects such as land management, community leadership, and youth development.
On the Save Our Towns website, click on the Extension tab. There you can learn much more. You'll find extension agents listed along with their areas of expertise and contact information.
Next, for 3 questions, we're staying in the Glen Lyn neck of the woods. In fact, this featured town is right next door, Rich Creek, population 750.
Roger Jones, town manager with the town of Rich Creek, Virginia. I think about all the advances the town's made in the past 10 years on infrastructure. Finishing up on some of our projects like the downtown enhancement, new sidewalks. We've got one side of the street finished, the other side we're in the process of trying to go to bid with it. And cost has increased to the point that we're struggling. We have tried to upgrade our infrastructure to support new businesses. We have built in conjunction with the town of Glen Lyn, a 200,000 gallon a day treatment plant. In the past few years, we've replaced every water meter in town, 425 of them, and replaced service lines, brought everything up to code. But it's a quiet little country town. We're beginning to see our population increase. You can go up through the subdivisions and you see a lot of children have come to town, living here now. We lost our school here back in around 1990. This school was closed. And with that, some of the population left. But now, with the improvements we've made in town, they are coming back.
Would you like to nominate your town for an Examples of Awesome story? If so, we'd love to hear from you. To view past episodes and to dive deeper into resources and a wealth of information about small towns, go to the Save Our Towns website, and please send your thoughts to saveourtowns@vt.edu. We read and respond to every email. This is episode 1 of season 5. Thanks for watching.